you are in court because your attorney is late.
Okay, so we only take a record in this court when the judge tells you to? Is this a tactic on the court's part to attempt to wear out the defendant so they can't access their right to trial?
Oh, stop interrupting me.
Well, we're not on the record.
Stop interrupting me.
Right? I mean, we're not in
Stop
court. There's no record.
interrupting me.
I mean, that's the reason I don't come to your court at 9, because I know in another court,
Sir, here's your answer.
Today's case is a little different.
Today's case is unusual. Instead of the defendant being the problem, it's the attorney who's stirring up all the chaos. Judge Boyd expects professionalism in her courtroom, but this lawyer seems determined to test her patience.
Usually, it's the defendant getting called out, but this time, it's the lawyer who's causing all the trouble. Judge Boyd doesn't hold back, and she gives him a firm warning for his behavior. And honestly, it's hard to disagree with her. Lawyers are expected to maintain professionalism in the courtroom, not get upset and act out when things don't go their way. This kind of behavior isn't just inappropriate, it undermines the entire process. Let me know in the comments what you think about how this one played out.
The lawyer argues about scheduling, insisting his client is being treated unfairly. But Judge Boyd pushes back, reminding him that every court operates this way. She's not playing favorites, this is just how the docket works. Still, he refuses to let it go.
Was Judge Boyd right to step in like she did? Let's jump in and watch how she handled this situation.
All right, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked everyone else. Has the acknowledgement of discovery been done? Because I don't have it in the court file.
I have signed a few of them at this point.
All right, so has there been any new discovery?
Not to my knowledge.
All right, so you can make sure that the acknowledgement of discovery, the state actually has it and the court has it, because it's not in the court file. And obviously it's doing things on its own. So I'm gonna have y'all come back tomorrow. You're not number one on the docket. Okay. There are a couple of cases that are ahead of you, so those cases may end up going for 4 years. We'll just see where we are, okay?
That's correct.
Respectfully, Your Honor, Mr. Rios always appears, always waits all day. This is impacting his employment. We would ask that if
Things take a dramatic turn. Instead of following instructions, the attorney accuses the court of deliberately trying to wear out his client. That's a serious claim with zero proof. Is he protecting his client, or just picking a fight?
we're not likely to be called tomorrow, that we'd be released. Additionally, I have experts for this trial that we have attempted to bring in, but we never know, and because the case is older now, when we should bring those experts in. So I'm going to have to approach the court and request additional funds for those experts if we're reset. So I would ask the court either to give us some preference tomorrow for trial, or if we can't do that, to release Mr. Rios so that he can go to work.
All right, be here exactly at 9:30, okay?
Okay, yes.
All right, counsel, be here exactly at 9:30.
You understand? Now, Your Honor, respectfully, every time we come to court, we lose an entire day of work ourselves, too. This is not typical of most of the courts in this county.
Oh, yeah, it is very typical.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
You can say that, Judge, but I practice in the courts.
And it very is typical, because every attorney that's here has a case that's set for jury trial.
Judge Boyd doesn't let it slide. She explains that delays happen because attorneys themselves are often late. But every time she speaks, the lawyer interrupts. Watching a seasoned attorney act this unprofessional in open court is shocking.
And this is what ends up happening. What ends up
Happening is I will allow people to go to civil cases to be out of county, and then their client is sitting here waiting for them. And for some reason, that's the court's fault. That's not the court's fault when attorneys are not showing up at 9 or whatever, and then they stroll in at 9:30 or 9:45. So what I'm telling y'all, 9:30, see y'all at 9:30. Thank you. Coordinator will give you a reset form.
Understood. Your Honor,
All right,
I'm
thank
trying to
you.
make a record. I don't see the court reporter typing. Okay, so we only take a record in this court when the judge tells you to? The case was called.
No, the case wasn't called. When I call the case, I call it by the style of the case.
Okay.
All right? All right, so I'll see y'all at 9:30.
Judge, I have to ask you, is this a tactic on the court's part to attempt to wear out the defendant so they can't access their right to trial?
What is this attorney even doing?
And then it gets worse. He suggests the courtroom live stream exists to make money on YouTube. That's not only disrespectful, it's absurd. Court streams are for transparency, not profit. At this point, he's not just attacking the judge, he's undermining the justice system.
Right now. The judge clearly told him to return at 9:30 tomorrow, yet he turns around and accuses the court of trying to wear down his client. Honestly, the only thing exhausting the defendant at this point seems to be his own lawyer. His going off on tangents, making the situation more complicated than it needs to be. You've got to wonder if the defendant is sitting there thinking he might have been better off representing himself. From where I'm sitting, the attorney's attitude seems less about the case and more about some personal issue he might have with Judge Boyd. And let's be real, Judge Boyd usually keeps things calm and respectful in her courtroom. But it looks like her patience might be running out here. Let me know in the comments what you think about this lawyer's behavior. Now let's jump in and see how Judge Boyd handles it.
Oh, I find that very inappropriate to say when there is no proof and people are just throwing things out. Now, what I can tell you, and I'm sure your client is aware,
This attorney has nearly 20 years of experience, yet his behavior looks more like a rookie losing control. Is he provoking Judge Boyd on purpose, or just showing poor judgment? Either way, it puts his client in a terrible position.
sometimes when we end up coming to court, we come to court because there are discovery issues. Sometimes when you're in court, you are in court because your attorney is late. And when I say late, I mean that when a case is scheduled in this court and it's scheduled for 9 a.m. and attorneys go to different courts because they want to go to different courts first, it is not the court's fault that you're sitting here for 12 o'clock or 1:30 or coming back over break. Number one, I have a lunch break. And there was a point in time where I would not take a lunch break. And the reason why I wouldn't take a lunch break is because I said, you know what? I've been a defense attorney. And when I was a defense attorney, what I would always do, I'm like, I have to be in like 5 courts. It would be nice if they could stagger their docket. And so sometimes I would be here. We wouldn't have a lunch break.
Meanwhile, Judge Boyd remains composed. She explains why the schedule must run tightly with 40 jury trials lined up. Her message is simple: be on time, be ready, and respect the process.
And I would be here till 3 o'clock. And then you know what I discovered? When I would say that I'm going to be here till 3 o'clock, I'm working through lunch, other attorneys, you know what they would end up doing? Then they wouldn't show up in the morning. They would just show up at 1:30 or whatever, because they're like, oh, the judge is going to stay there. So I stopped doing that because I need a lunch break. And that's what happens.
So then my other question, I guess, is if you're not doing this to cause the hardship, it obviously causes on all the attorneys and the defendants. Are you doing this for the YouTube? Because we don't have a record, right? Except for the YouTube.
Yes, here's the thing. You'll be back tomorrow at 9:30. You understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. And once you sign the reset form, you'll be here tomorrow. If somebody goes before you, somebody goes before you. Your counsel is well aware, should be well aware, if he's been practicing in Bexar County,
Almost
that
20
there
years.
are
This attorney has been practicing in this county for nearly 20 years.
But the lawyer doesn't stop. Even after being dismissed, he lingers, still making comments. By now, it's embarrassing. Instead of advocating for his client, he's turning the spotlight on himself, and not in a good way.
Which makes his behavior here even more surprising. The way he's presenting himself just doesn't align with what you'd expect from someone with that much experience. Honestly, his approach feels unprofessional and careless. And then there's the bold accusation. He actually suggests that Judge Boyd is using her courtroom livestream to make money. That's a serious claim with no real basis. From what I can tell, the stream likely exists for transparency or record keeping, not for personal gain. Let's not forget, Judge Boyd is running a courtroom on behalf of the United States, not hosting a personal broadcast. So, for this attorney to treat it like some online side hustle is not only misguided, it's disrespectful. At this point, you really have to wonder what his goal is. Is he trying to provoke the judge on purpose? Or is this just a sign of poor judgment? Either way, the defendant must be sitting there questioning how things got to this point. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about how this attorney is handling himself?
of cases that are on the docket for jury trial. So, for example, I had approximately 40 cases down for jury trial today. And what ends up happening, sometimes people who are in custody take precedent because their cases are older
I'm
than
asking
yours.
for a record, by the way.
You understand? Because they're older than yours. So that's what happens. So then what ends up
Hey, there
happening,
should be a record, right?
excuse me, stop interrupting me.
Well, we're not on the
Stop
record,
interrupting me.
right? I mean, we're not in
Stop
court. if there's no record.
interrupting me.
Sir, here's your reset form at 9:30.
So what ends up happening, sir, is that people who are in custody, sometimes their cases take precedent. And the reason why it takes precedent is because their cases are older and because the
In the end, Judge Boyd handles everything professionally. She doesn't let his outbursts derail the proceedings, and she keeps the case on track. It's a reminder that emotional control is essential in a courtroom.
jail is overcrowded. Now, as you may or may not be aware, I call the docket all the time at 9 a.m. And sometimes when I call the docket at 9 a.m., defense attorneys are not here. Your attorney knows when he has not been here at 9 a.m. And then you have to wait. And you
Judge,
need
you're
to
aware
be
that
here.
every court starts at 9.
And you need to
I have
be
other
here.
cases.
And you need to be here at 9. So when your attorney is somewhere at another court, you know what ends up happening? Your attorney has made the choice to have you sit here and go to another court before
Well,
coming
that's not
here.
exactly true
You
because all of
understand?
those courts got
All right,
business
good luck to
accomplished.
you.
All
Thank
of us
you.
got
Thank you,
recalled
sir.
today.
Thank you,
Right,
sir.
Judge? So, I mean, what did we
Have
accomplish
a nice
today?
afternoon, sir.
I
Sir,
mean, that's the reason I don't come to your court at 9, because I know in another court,
Sir,
things
here's
can
your
actually
answer.
occur.
sir,
And they're courts of exactly the same
Sir.
jurisdiction.
right this way, sir.
Don't go anywhere just yet, guys. This idiot is not done. Judge Boyd is about to call up her next case, but this dude just keeps lingering around like an idiot.
Hi. All right, Mr. Guzman.
Yes.
All right, so before the interpreter came, and correct me if I'm wrong, your attorneys came forward to let me know that they just received a new indictment. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and so that indictment, excuse me. Step away.
I was doing what the court ordered me to do and checking on the discovery.
All right, so what ended up happening is your attorneys, all right. Boy, things have really changed the way people treat people, which I find very odd.
Honestly, I'm siding with Judge Boyd on this one. The attorney was supposed to be in court at 9 a.m., but he showed up late and got upset when the judge didn't immediately take his case. Then, when she explained the situation, he completely lost his composure. Courtrooms follow strict schedules for a reason. As Judge Boyd mentioned, she had 40 trials that day. That's not a small workload. Lawyers, like any other professionals, are expected to show up on time. That's just part of doing the job right. Instead, this attorney seemed to think he deserved special treatment. And when he didn't get it, he became visibly frustrated. In my opinion, that kind of reaction is unprofessional, especially in open court. Emotional control is key when you're representing someone's legal rights. Let me know in the comments where you stand. Do you think the judge handled it well? From my point of view, she was completely justified, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this courtroom breakdown,
So here's the takeaway. The judge was fair, the process was clear, and the only one making this harder was the attorney himself. Do you think Judge Boyd was right to push back, or was the lawyer raising valid points in the wrong way? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real courtroom drama.